it set up to where the students are going to have projects that they're going to do along the way. They're going to be graded on them. They're going to be getting feedback on them. They're going to be told, okay, you did this right and you did this wrong, and here's how you can do it better.
Yeah.
And that's that's priceless, man. That's absolutely priceless.
Your goal, it would be take my
take
money.
my money,
take
please.
my money. Take my money, because it saves the time. You have a feedback from professional. You understand the game, and also you find a way together to monetize the content.
Right.
Because sooner or later, when you start, for example, movie production, you want to get the deal about the producing movie, right?
Right.
But you need to pass school, university, make some, maybe you be practicant, on the some level and everything. It's the same time VR Academy.
Yeah.
You can get to Apple Vision Pro content, and Black Magic.
Yep.
Perfect. But to go to this level,
you need
how
to use it.
Exactly. It's absolutely not make any sense. Someone who go to the Black Magic. Because it first of all it will, there's no way. Can you tell me how someone who just have no idea coming from 2D going to the Black Magic?
They would look at it and they would
To the Black Magic.
They would look at it and they would just go, because their eyes would glaze over it. They look at all the connections and the knobs and the adjustments and all of the rest of it. And you know what though? We say this now, and everybody's nodding their heads probably right along with us. But at the same time, there's a whole bunch of people that are saying, you know what? I can find a free tutorial on you.
Get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. If you get it for free, infrastructure. What is it worth? Yeah, there are some people that can learn that way.
VR
but they're
headset.
very, very
And it
few.
all depends on
what
what
you
you're
really
doing.
need to do.
So it's like,
stop thinking
realize
that you're going to get it
that
for
this
free.
is just
You have to invest. You have to invest your time. You have to invest some money. And that, again, what we're trying to do with VR Academy is we're trying to keep the prices to where they're reasonable so that people actually can afford to go ahead and take the courses and learn and become.
So we have a Ray-Ban and the other company.
I'm crazy.
Well,
I actually want to see people. I want to see people eventually do better than I'm doing.
That has the rights to all of it.
Yes.
That would
Yeah,
please
I
me to
forget
no
who it
end.
is that
That
has
somebody
that.
that I taught
I know.
actually
did
something better than me. Because-
But those are
That
those
means
are
they
non-display
really
glasses.
absorbed my
Those-
knowledge and they've taken it to the next level. And hopefully they're feeding that to other people too.
And the
Not
market,
seeing
so there'll be more
anything
people,
on
more
your
company, like you
glasses.
said, there will be
And then
more
you jump to the
participation.
X-Rail
Also,
and the
the same
Virture.
big company understand investment
And there's
for
a
the-
few
for
other
the
new ones
creators.
that just came out
It's
as
not
well.
about investment
And
to
those are
stop,
display
it's
glasses.
investment to
So those,
start. It's
you know,
like
you would have
want
it.
to
I would have it on, and I'd
Messi
be
and
looking at
Ronaldo,
you, and
Yeah.
maybe
You don't
you'd be
looking for
speaking
the
another
30 years or
language.
25
You know
years.
what? Sometimes
You
I
go
do
from the
think
10
you're
years old
speaking another
schools,
language, but
you
it's
build
really
the
English.
start,
That's
you
very-
build the football field, you
Yep.
build the academy from early age. You cannot start as saying like, oh, you already do VR. It's like, I'll show you Black Magic now.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. Start from beginning. It will take time.
Yeah.
But then you have someone from after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, then you can create amazing content.
Yeah.
Not after like how long you're in the business, right? And we're still learning. Things change.
Yep.
Lighting and everything, we just adjust. Sound, which is
Yes.
give us right now
It's
the
amazing.
which is
Yeah.
also
Give us
VR.
right
now
the- amazing how it
I
changes
just see
situation.
the out and everything. You cannot say nothing.
Yeah.
You cannot make discussion on the crowd.
Yeah.
So the technology, not only camera, change.
Yes.
So we're in the position right now when we actually can create more content, and sooner or later we can open I can say the big company need to understand the investment must be on the every level.
Yeah.
On the people who start, who wanna just shoot content on the school, who wanna shoot content on the fishing, right?
Right.
Simple things. People with the passion who wanna record what they do and do it on the VR, because we'll go this way. There's no escape.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
see
in
the
my
top
street, I can
company
find
mean,
investors, basically.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love
make
to
wrong
be able to
mistake.
go
They create
around
the market.
Bangkok
Yeah.
They don't
and
guess,
listen to
they
people
create
speak
the market.
Thai
Yep.
So if
and
they
be able
put
to
in
see it
billions
translated
dollars,
right on the
Meta,
screen in front of me.
Apple,
Yeah.
Because to be
Samsung,
quite honest,
Huawei,
I
Vivo.
can understand more than I
Pico,
can
right?
speak,
Pico.
but at the
Like,
same time, I get
Do you
lost
think
in
they're wrong? Like
conversations.
some
Yeah.
company
Because
jump
they-
in
Thai
5 years
people
and say,
speak very
hey,
fast,
I have a
and the
don't
language
I have
is
a
pretty damn
VR.
complex.
You know
Right.
about this. Like,
And
Well, not only that, but,
once you get
most-
lost in the conversation, it's really difficult. That's where something like display glasses, AR glasses, would be fantastic. I mean, Samsung now is saying it does it live translate, but it's still like it's done audio, and it's lagging a little bit, and then you're having to look at your phone, and it's like, it's kind of conspicuous. With the glasses, it would be something that would be very inconspicuous, and people wouldn't even necessarily realize it was going on. But you do just have to be able to speed read.
Yes.
What's the common mistakes what people do when they start journey with the VR creation? The biggest, first problem or mistake.
I guess it depends upon. There's a few of them. First of all, with 360 cameras, the biggest mistake I see is people not realizing that 360 cameras are not point and shoot. You can't just put it down and not think about anything and press the record button. You have 360, the small cameras are 2 lens, one on either side. So it's kind of like this. And so you got a lens on this side and a lens on this side. If I'm turned this way and this lens isn't getting any light, but that lens is getting all the light, then you're going to wind up with like this line. Yeah. Because it can't blend it together when it's that extreme. But yet if you turn the camera this way and you even the light on both sides, you get a beautiful image. So understanding that it's not point and shoot. Understanding that with a 3D VR180 camera, that A, it needs to be level, because it doesn't work when it's not level. B, it needs to be steady. And most people say, oh, I'm really steady with my hand. I can hold that. The truth of the matter is that everybody, and the longer you're holding it, the more it does it, okay?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Our heads are one of the best ever invented gimbals. Or actually, maybe it's more our eyes and our brain. Because as we walk, we actually walk kind of like this, okay? And if you try to do the camera that way, you're going to make people very sick. But our brain, as we're walking versus a camera, our brain makes that all look level. We don't think that we're walking like this, okay? So that's one of the other things, is making sure that the camera is level and that the camera is steady. And you either shoot with 3D, you either need to shoot with a tripod, or you need to shoot with a gimbal. You really can't get away with handheld for more than a second or two without it starting to mess up. Now, we have stabilization on these cameras. They're absolutely fantastic. It's great stabilization, but it's not 100%. It can't be, okay? And so learning those and learning with 3D, about, not putting people all the way on one side, that they really need to be in the middle. Those are some of the most common starting out.
Yeah. What about engagement, with the camera? Like, for example, we are here right now. Yeah. The camera is rolling. Yep. We focus on each other. Yeah. How, the viewers see this and feel right now?
Well, I mean, when you're doing an interview, it is one style of doing an interview where you basically look straight into the lens and you're talking to the camera. But it's not what most people consider natural. And so if I was looking in between the 2D camera and the 3D camera and I'm looking this way, this is probably one of the better ways for me to go, because then my face is getting in both images. But we're sitting across from each other, so that still works. It works good. And what we did was we talked about this earlier, about when we started the idea of doing it. I put it on this bar to where they can be hopefully equidistant, so that as the edit is done and it cuts from me talking to you talking, the depth needs to be the same. It's called, when you don't have the same depth, for instance, if you were all the way back against the wall and I was here, when it jumped over between us, some people could feel motion sickness almost.
Yeah, you need to adjust at least a half of the second.
Well, what it's called a depth jump.
Depth jump, okay.
Okay? So you don't want a depth jump. You want to, even though we're two different people, if we're the same distance, then the 3D is the same. Okay. So even as we switch back and forth, it's still going to look smooth.
then the light is also important at the same
Of
time,
course.
because we are quite similar on the light.
Yeah,
you know?
that helps.
Yeah.
That helps. I mean, we're, it's on my side, on this side, and it's the opposite side, but that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you expect to see. Whereas if the light was extremely different, or if it was too hot, then it wouldn't look good.
I can say also about the community.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've loved getting onto the school platform and putting comments up and putting questions up and getting feedback from everybody. The community has stayed very engaged, which is what we need.
Later we give some, maybe extra prizes and everything.
Yeah.
Because I think it's people want to see their work also get some benefits,
Yes.
right? At the same time, I understand, you love VR, and but at the same time we also want to see the people get the benefits. For example, like they know if their work gets some traction, get some likes, comment, get some good works, but at the same time the monetization.
Yep.
So the VR school, the VR Academy, so VR Academy on the school is the place when people actually can see the progress. Like you said, we want to create, we're on the way, that's why we do this one, on the way to create the things when people see the progress based on the things what they know, what they learn, and they practice. Like
right.
We have a wonderful student actually here who have a, samples, need to make samples.
Right.
Then he also, have the feedback from you.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, you don't make the mistakes, and you continue 5-10 videos which happen on the our team as well.
Yep.
And on other people who are on the VR Academy, which they make 30 videos, and the videos they do not have the story.
Right.
So people thinking like, okay, I just make more videos.
Right.
And maybe different model, different person, different place. It's already everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. The problem is that you're not improving the part of the the storytelling, the lightning, which has happened also.
Yep.
And that's, I think, the big part of the getting better.
And that's that's one of the things. There's the technical knowledge. There's the technical knowledge of how to set up the camera, making sure that you're getting the lighting good, making sure that you're getting good audio. But then all of that is for nothing if you can't tell a good story. It's the bottom line.
And you know what I see the best things of the VR Academy? I think the feedback from the real people who are actually watching this one,
yes,
who understand the game, and you have a real feedback.
Yeah.
Because I see this many times. If you have show to your friends, show to the people around, there's no real feedback.
No.
Because they don't have experience with this.
Not only that, they don't want to say something bad to you.
Yeah, exactly. And they always say like, oh, it's nice because of the VR.
Beautiful.
Yes. So whatever you play them, right?
Yeah.
You can play the worst shitty video on the VR. They said, wow, it's nice, I like it,
It's very funny that you mentioned that, because earlier today we were looking downstairs, we were looking at the Quest. We were looking at the Quest headset, and we were looking at something that we had shot. And I wasn't satisfied with it, and I said, I'm going to redo it. And I put the headset on them, and I said, now look at this one. This one looks great. But then I said, okay, let me click. I changed it to the next one. I say, see, look at this, this, and this. And I'm critiquing my own self.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm my harshest critic. I want it to be absolutely perfect. But you've got to be able to get that honest feedback. I'm not afraid to say it. And I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah.
I just
but at the same time we need to have the people who are honest.
Yes.
Who don't afraid to say how they really see it. Because the biggest problem also about this monetization, because you cannot judge your movie based off how much money they earn. The same time about how much people watch this, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be really confused, like you said, oh, my video was there and I get the prize and everything. And you get the prize because someone financed this one. You get the man from startup, and it's 27 video on the Apple Vision Pro. So of course, and someone watch as like, oh yeah, because they pay this. They don't have choice, so they need to take the video because they don't pay for anything else. I don't believe they have 100 videos. No, they pay for 27. They get 27. And it's like and who can judge? Company can judge. The people who make headset can judge, because you need to understand different. the Apple Vision Pro, the company, they are not producer for the video there.
Yeah, but actually with Apple is very unusual. Apple is very unusual. Apple, you do have a coordinated effort between the hardware and they have their own different.
Okay.
And that seems to be the trend.
So you think that, but they still order video for the,
Yes,
for
they do third party. Like for instance,
Yeah.
Meta just contracted with James Cameron.
Yeah.
Okay. But they like to, and this actually brings up something that is kind of close to the vest on me, close to my heart. And that is, back in 2019, I was one of the first to be invited by Oculus at the time, when it was less confusing, to go ahead and open up a channel. And, even just the simple thing of signing up, they had to hand do for me because they just weren't ready for it. And I put up probably around 50 titles onto Oculus. And at times they were paying me for some of them and letting me keep them on my site. I got to work with Sir David Attenborough on the separate stuff for Micro Monsters and Kingdom of Plants. And then all of a sudden they just recently announced that there are no more user-generated content and all of our stuff is going away. And so I went through my 20 or so pages of content that I have in the library there still yet, and I added up my views. And I can tell you that I'm very happy to say that I had over 5 million views on my videos. But what's sad about that is that at the beginning, the view count was much, much higher. And then towards the last, year, it's been falling off because they transitioned from Oculus to Meta, and they really just didn't know what to do with it. They were promoting our stuff before, and the creators were enthusiastic. Everybody wanted to put something else. They wanted to have that badge of honor to be able to have a channel, because not everybody was accepted. It was like this was the cream of the crop. And Meta at the time, or Oculus at the time actually, was promoting everything. And we would have these competitions. How many do you have that are, being in the positions of honor, so to speak? And that was a thing for the creators. We got out there and we did harder, pushed harder to make something better so that we'd get recognition. Because let's face it, that's why we do this stuff. And it's sad that now that they've let it go and, left it alone, and they don't realize that's the heart and soul of the platform. It's not your games. It's not these stupid Horizon World with these blocky looking no leg avatars that just I can't get into them. But it's all to me they're forsaking video, and they're just going to go with the high end production companies, which are going to do a fantastic job. I mean, there's not a doubt there. But I think they're missing out on getting the creators involved and growing their audience that way. Because you know what? When I say to you, hey, Mario, go on the Oculus and you can take a look at, Sir David Attenborough's 5-part series, Micro Monsters, you're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I want to buy a headset because my buddy Al was working on this and it almost won an Emmy, and wow, this must be really good. And they're not realizing that creators create more users.
Yeah. And I think we can jump into the point where we are actually create the platform for the creators and from the users, because the creators can attract other people, especially the one who have a passion, who do something great and have already audience. That's what we are trying to reach with our new project, startup, the VR Funky. What it's most, I can say, challenge is to bring people together, connect with the other startups, because we have people like DVR, company like DVR.
Right.
We still have a YouTube, of course. We have a Meta, Apple Vision Pro, and other company like the Rival.tech, and VOZ, and Amplium, for example.
I gotta say, Jill VR is actually starting to get some. Jill VR is actually starting to get some play, which is an offshoot. It's kind of like the adult version. Or the mature, you say adult version, everybody's mind go into the gutter. Yeah. But basically, it's like more performance art, and it's a little bit edgier stuff. It's more mature content, And now that's fine.
At the same, yeah, but it's going also to direction for the adult industry, which is also content creation. Like we know the Hollywood and the adult business is from the same side of the different content, but technological are the same. They are most advanced, right? They put a lot of money on this industry. It's never disappear. It work all the time. So I can understand when the people will be learning about the VR, right? They can go whatever direction they want, right? We can still say like, no, don't shoot video with the girls, right?
Right.
So we need to understand that we want to show the VR, and whatever someone use this, it's up to them, right?
Yes.
So we are quite open for this one. And but what I need more, it's about the connection with the people.
Yeah.
Because I believe even our startup, what we make, the VR Funky, which is connection between the creators and the users and the fans of the creators of the content. For example, they can order the content what they want. They can order birthday wishes from some celebrity that's on the VR, right? They can absolutely order some clip from the China, from the Great Wall, right? And then we can support each other, because I believe if someone value someone content, they won't support the creators, especially on the time when we see like VR. It's still, I can say, it's like we need more creators who can monetize the content and not a better way. But to do it this one, people need to work together.
Yes.
And I really call out everyone, also investors of these companies, investor of the setup, headset and the camera, especially plenty new startups who jump in now, wanna put some money on this future business. It's a future. There's no question. We'll be not living on the few years on the virtual reality somehow. I don't say we'll be spending most of the time, no, but spending 30 minutes on the things that you love, like the watching your phone and everything, and you get some inspiration and watch beautiful stuff, not traveling to the place, but actually even see the things connect the reality, beautiful places, and the people who are there, who are teaching and everything, is the place to be, and there will be the future. So I want to really call out, and I think it's the big portion, because we can grow together. The creators need more support. The company need more creators, and I see the people start even selling headset because there is no content there. And the people say, oh, we don't have enough headset. No, because there's not enough content.
Right.
So this is the gap when we need to really work together. There's no competitors. Like DOVR can absolutely work with the Rival, work with the VR Academy, work with the Apple Vision Pro, because if you get someone who produced the VR video and he jump into the Apple Vision Pro, he get the same skills.
Yes.
He don't need to produce only for this one.
Right.
Even the movie producer, they produce not 100% time for the main production. They do it plenty other things. They spending time for they do it like third part, like some editing things or some movie what is give them $100, right?
Yep.
That's big. I think not understanding. We don't need to go that high. We can produce something what we love, because you'll be doing this one if it's earn money for you or not. Right? We love this. We
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I probably would.
I'm one of the lucky ones that's been able to. I'm one of the lucky ones that's been able to make money with this and have a living.
But right of there's no right monetization.
Yes.
And to work on this one, to have more headset. I mean the setup. We need to have the more platforms who work together. And because everyone just try to grab money from investors. And they fill up the packet. Because they
And
get
it's
the money.
That's short term.
It's short term. In general, the startup, and it's general. But if we see this potential, actually fill the gap and create more creators, educate the creators. The same time, help other platforms, because if we create more creators, there'll be more people in VR.
Agreed. Absolutely.
If we create more creators, people who have actually the platform that they can sell, like on content. Sooner or later will be more people create content for Apple Vision Pro.
Right.
And absolutely, on the easy way, it will be more people clients for the Meta headset, for the Apple Vision Pro, for the Pico and everything. So it will be snowball. You have more content, you have more headset, and people like, oh yeah, I want to watch Gordon Ramsay who cooking, right?
Yeah.
And why you buy this? Because he cooking there. I love cooking. I love MasterChef. I want to see this sitting on the front and then see what they put on the plate. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I've done cooking stuff before, and
it's like people look at it and they're like, man, I'm hungry all of a sudden after I watch that because it looks so
clean and so realistic, and it's like, wow, you see the masterpiece, how they cut and everything. You cannot see on the TV this.
No.
Because you cannot like...
It's a totally different experience.
It's totally. Because they on the TV, they mostly show the emotions. They don't show the product. On the VR, you choose what you look.
Yes.
And you can zoom yourself really to the carrot. And see like, fuck, this carrot is amazing, man.
You have a thing about carrots. I think. I don't know. Are you part rabbit? I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I got tartar yesterday. Yesterday. I found the tartar on my plate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we gave him carrots. So.
Wow.
We have a
Wow.
We have a
Oh yeah, I saw the picture of the turtle.
Right. Yeah.
He looks like, but he's big.
Oh, like this.
Oh yeah. Okay. As a kid, I used to have the little turtles like that. That's almost
more like this.
Yeah.
Grow. And I have big one on my pot, on my small lake in my farm. So
the guy that does the snake,
that does the snakes, that does the king cobras, he has one of these Galapagos turtles, and he's the big monsters. Mm-hmm. You could sit on them and ride them.
100 years plus.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
They can leave a lot.
But they're pretty fast. They're
anyway
super
here.
Fast.
They can really you cannot expect with the head and everything. It's crazy. And when they bite and everything, it's crazy. And when they bite,
man, they bite.
They can bite.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah. Okay, so we just want to share our knowledge. I think, right?
Yeah.
That's what we need. And I think that the community is a big factor. Like, I really enjoyed the community on the LSD or VR.
Yes.
There's a KuCam, which is great because we talk about special things.
Yep.
We still need to diversify the knowledge about the editing, right? Because it's a kind of very deep things. You can be better on this one. The basic things okay, but we know the tools like Topaz. And if you don't it can really improve.
No,
right?
you can. But
it can really improve.
No,
right?
you can. But the bottom line about certain things is it's about levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understanding.
It's kind of like saying,
it's kind of like saying, if somebody gives you a Lamborghini, does that mean you can drive in the F1 race?
Yeah.
It's like, no, because you have to build up the skills. And it's like, yes, you can use Topaz, but if you use it wrong, it makes your stuff look like dog meat. Mm-hmm. It looks really bad. And I see it all the time, people putting up posts and saying, oh, I don't know, how do I do this? And it's like, guy, first of all, you got to understand that it depends on what the video is. I don't use the same settings twice, unless it's like the same scene and the same setup. Then I can repeat it. But most times I have to look at each individual video and adjust the settings. You have to be intelligent. You have to be more intelligent than the AI.
Yeah.
Because the AI can only go so far.
The auto setting, it's always in general to set up things, just to, it's a function what must to be because it's how you start, right?
Yes.
But once you go deeper and see the difference.
And it's the same thing with editing. There are certain things you do in editing that, it's like it's like, oh, I didn't know that, and all of a sudden you learn it, and you're increasing your skills, and that's we have beginner courses, we have intermediate, we have advanced, so we can take you all the way through that knowledge base and make sure that you're improving your skills and adding to your skill sets as you go forward. But you have to start at the beginning. You can't start in a high-end class because you won't.
Can stop you to go to the next level, Like I try to also sometimes stop you and say, hey, what's this proxy? Hey, what it's all about, right? Because people watch and you understand, like a school, and they have no idea.
No.
And they don't go back. We don't want this. That's why even, VR Academy is designed for the people who are already on any level.
Yes.
Because we have already our, your students. We already have the people who pass the basic journey, they produce the content, they monetize the content, they earn money.
Yes.
So they understand the journey, and they're the one also on the VR Academy to teach other people, to also give the advice, because they're on the beginning level, but they already achieved some, great success.
Yeah. But that's also...
Great success.
Yeah. But that's a dual-edged sword as well. That's one of the things that you have to watch out for, because when people do one way, and they make all of a sudden they make some money with it. They think, okay, I don't want to learn anything more. I just want to keep doing it this way. And they've got to realize that sometimes, even if you're making money, you should still try to improve what you're doing to the
earning money on this business, in general, the business, it's not the results and it's not the great feedback, you know?
Yeah.
Like I see this many times. You just go to the great niche, great timing, and you're lucky, you know? And you get money, and you think is the quality. You know, the quality, you know, there's a lot of content, and it's like prank, you know, the stupid things. Like the cats. It's like, oh, I'm the content creator. What do you do? I just cut the cats, you know, collect the video, and I post, and I get millions of dollars. Wow, you know, but what's your, you know, where are you there? You know, what's your, it's really love it? I said, no, it's money. And they
burn out in a couple of years.
Because, exactly, you know, so the big point of what we're talking, and that's, you know, that's why I'm here, that's why you are here, and that's why I think you are there also, because we're talking about the passion, you know? You know, even if it's to be on the journey, something what I don't like, that's why, you know, I didn't burn out, because I found the way to pass all the setup things, the mistakes about the camera, fucked up and everything. I know I will go to the place when I can really enjoy. And this podcast is the fully things what I always love. I want to create the content, but at the same time, I don't want to do, you know, a lot of other things, you know, because I passed this, you know. For example, I love Final Cut, right? But, you know, sooner or later, maybe Final Cut will join the VR, right?
They kind of have, but
they kind of have, but not really. I mean,
the Final Cut.
The Final Cut came out with their own. They bought the 3D tool set from a guy that I know pretty well, Tim Dashwood. He had created a set of tools, just like my other friend Chris Babotas had created, and Chris sold his tool set to Adobe. I happen to think his is much better. Now you just mentioned the Blackmagic Immersive. That's another whole ball game, because of, you know, when you get into 8K, and it's a very complex, it's a professional camera setup. It's certainly not anything close to these coup cams that we're doing, which do fantastic. I love this modded Cool Cam 3 Ultra. These are fantastic cameras. They're great beginner cameras. And they can even work as a great B-roll camera for something like the Canon. Now, I think that's where it kind of ends, because if you step up to the 16K, it's not going to match up to it. You know, it's just not there. But then again, how many guys do you know that are going to spend $100,000 to go ahead and buy this camera? And I'm actually somebody who, it's not my favorite thing to have to rent a camera, because I don't know who else has screwed with that camera.
Possibility, and it's always something.
You rent it for a gig, and in the middle of the gig it breaks down, and you don't have a backup.
We just had a situation today, like we went to the gym, right? And then the tool, like whatever, the gym stuff, was fucked up, like just stopped. And they blame us about this one, right?
Wow.
You see this, you know, it's not working well for like last 10 years, right? But, you know, because we actually use it, right? And it's stuck, and they, you know, the company.
Well, they're always wanting, they want somebody, because they want to get somebody else to pay for the repair instead of them.
Exactly, because they want to exchange basically the thing. That's why we need money, right? Because did it work, you know? So that's the things about the, you know, like even about the camera, you know, like the Caudullo and everything, you know, like if you have a yours, like you also, you know, the setup, they're taking care of this, you know, we use the mod version, so there's like some handmade stuff would need to be made, so we need to be careful about this one, but that's the big part. And I think in general, like they want people to, you know, have their own, because it's the big cost. But if you have a, you know, big investor for this, it's the game changer. But, you know, we cannot only depend on the big investor. Like, I never was into getting investment, because I believe I can do by myself, and I can monetize, and I don't need someone who just want to put the money and don't understand what I'm really doing, you know? I know it's the not good strategy, That's why what we're doing right now, we're looking for the investor for the next stage.
Yep.
We are already on the seed stage,
Yep.
which means like want to scale up. We have already 20 creators
Right.
who finish VR Academy,
Yep.
and then they want to go to the next level. So we
Yeah.
create for them platform called VR Funky, which allow them to monetize content, to find other fans
Right.
who love them, who love the content,
Right.
and who want more what they do.
Right.
And at the same time, they want to support them on the journey.
Yeah.
They want them to buy the black magic.
Yeah,
And-
but
and-
I gotta say, I think we should. I gotta say, I think we should draw a line because going from the canon
Yeah.
and jumping into the black magic, that's like jumping the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Okay. The black magic is a fantastic camera, but it's a big, ungainly beast. It's not a one-man operation when you're using the black magic. The Canon can be a one-man operation, and it can get super professional results. The black magic, that's corporation, that's production house. It's not something that the people that are going to be attracted to learning stuff at VR Academy, I think their ultimate goal is going to be something more like the Canon, and maybe
True.
maybe thinking that later on,
It's just the way when people really can support them, right? You have a place like Patreon, right?
Yeah,
When they
yeah.
support other creators,
Yeah.
right? Which is great, but it's nothing like on the VR. And I would love to have people who like actually support the creators.
Yeah.
At the same time, have a contact with them, because I think it's the lack of the many platforms like even about the VR when we actually can talk with the people, because you watch amazing content. It's like, hey man, where you been? What's the place,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
not only get that from the views, which we also try to combine maybe the way how people can really attract, have the traction from YouTube.
Right.
YouTube is an amazing platform, but we all know that's not designed for the VR yet.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well-
they will never take care. Maybe they will never take off this part. Because I wish the VR the best, right? And I want more communication from them, because really we need, as a creators, we need to work together. We need to have discussion about where we're going, what's our goal, how we can design, not only be a part of some big, corporation,
Right.
but be the designing part, and that be, have the word and have the, like really action about decision what will be made. Because on the other case, there will be everything from up, and we're like, oh, there's some platforms. Like, no, you can actually take control and have some potential to make the things like you want. And I
Right.
think, we need more of this one.
Yeah, because what
We need more of this one.
Yeah, because what we're offering is not just teaching. We're offering a support system.
Yeah.
We're offering somebody to say, okay, you want some advice about the story that you're wanting to shoot? Well, maybe you might want to think about this, or wow, that's a really great idea. Go for it. The bottom line is, if you show up with a coup cam someplace, nobody's going to think that you're
Yeah.
trying to do professional video. If you show up with a black magic, they're going to say, "Where's your film?"
10 people
Yeah,
around
where's
you,
the
like, who hold this?
Because you ain't showing up by yourself
Yeah,
with that thing.
yeah, exactly.
You're going to show up with a crew and a
Yeah,
truck and all
exactly.
sorts of stuff.
Exactly. That's, I think, is
It's
the,
a different level of
Yeah.
filmmaking.
I think
It's a different level of
Yeah.
filmmaking.
Yes.
It's more. It goes into more traditional production house filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know.